We've explored the Great Pyramid for 4,500 years. Tomb robbers, explorers, archaeologists, thousands of people crawling through its corridors, measuring, mapping, documenting every stone. We thought we knew it. We were wrong. In 2017, scientists pointed a cosmic ray detector at the pyramid, not ground-penetrating radar, not ultrasound, but muons, subatomic particles raining down from space, passing through solid rock like ghosts. They were looking for voids, air pockets, empty spaces. What they found changed everything, a massive cavity, hidden directly above the Grand Gallery, 100 feet long, 20 feet wide, tall enough to stand in, completely unknown, undiscovered for 4,500 years, inside one of the most studied structures on Earth. Think about that, we've had 46 centuries. We've invaded the pyramid. We've drilled, we've probed, we've explored every passage we could find, and we missed this. It wasn't a small crack or a narrow shaft. It was a corridor-sized space, big enough to walk through, big enough to hide something. Then, in 2023, Muon imaging revealed another discovery. A hidden passage, at feet long, running at an angle behind the north face. Never touched, never seen. Sealed since construction, 2 massive voids, both hiding in plain sight, and neither one has been opened. Why? If we discovered a secret chamber in the Great Pyramid, wouldn't we immediately excavate it? Wouldn't we crack it open and film every second? We should have, but we didn't. Because to open the void, you have to damage the pyramid. You have to drill. You have to compromise a 4,500-year-old monument. And once you damage it, you can't undo it. So the voids remain sealed, locked, protected, waiting. The question isn't just what's inside those chambers. The question is, why did the pyramid's builders create them in the first place? The Great Pyramid isn't random. Every measurement is deliberate, every angle calculated, every chamber positioned with astronomical precision. The builders didn't waste space. They didn't hide chambers for no reason. If there's a void, there's a purpose. And if there's a purpose, there's something inside. Something important enough to conceal for 4,500 years. Something important enough to hide from the tomb robbers. Important enough to hide from the archaeologists. Important enough to hide from us. Until cosmic rays from space accidentally revealed what stone and sand had kept secret. The Great Pyramid isn't just a tomb, it's a vault. And we're finally starting to understand what it's guarding. For centuries, we explored the pyramid the old way. Crawling, measuring, drilling brute force archaeology. We found the king's chamber, the queen's chamber, the grand gallery, the shafts, the passages, and we thought we'd found everything. But in 2015, a team of scientists had a different idea. What if you could see inside without touching it? They called it Scan Pyramids, an international project using cutting-edge technology to image the pyramid's interior without excavation. Muon detectors thermal cameras, 3D scanning. Muons are subatomic particles created when cosmic rays from space collide with the Earth's atmosphere. Millions of them rain down every second. They pass through everything, air, water, flesh, but they slow down when they hit dense material, rock, stone, metal. By placing detectors inside and outside the pyramid, scientists could track which muons made it through and which ones were blocked. Where stone was dense, fewer muons emerged. Where air existed, voids, more muons came through. It's like an X-ray. But using cosmic rays as the beam. In November 2017, the results were published in the journal Nature. A massive void, at least 100 feet long, located directly above the Grand Gallery, in the heart of the pyramid. The lead scientist, Mehdi Tayyubi, described it as the size of a jet plane, a void the size of a commercial aircraft, hidden inside solid stone, never documented, never explored, invisible to 46 centuries of investigation. The pyramid had been keeping a secret. The discovery sent shockwaves through archaeology, but it also raised immediate questions. What is it, a structural void? A chamber? A passage? The Muon imaging could tell them it was there, but not what it contained. To know, you'd have to go inside. Then, in March 2023, Muon imaging revealed something else. A corridor approximately 30 feet long, running at an angle near the north face, hidden behind massive stone blocks, never before documented again. A chamber, unknown, untouched, sealed by the pyramid's builders. 2 major discoveries in 6 years, both hidden, both revealed only through cosmic ray technology, which raised a terrifying question. How many more are there? If we missed a jet plane-sized void, what else have we missed? Muon scans are still ongoing. New anomalies appear regularly, air-filled spaces, density fluctuations, passages that don't match any known corridor layout. The pyramid isn't fully mapped. We thought we knew it, but the cosmic rays are telling a different story. The Great Pyramid has more secrets, and they're hiding in the spaces between the stones. Every chamber in the Great Pyramid has a purpose. The king's chamber held the pharaoh's sarcophagus. The queen's chamber served a ritual function. The grand gallery was a passage, a ramp, a corridor. Everything was documented. Everything was intentional. The pyramid's architects didn't waste space. They didn't build chambers for no reason. So the hidden void wasn't an accident. It was planned, designed, deliberately concealed. The question is, why? One theory, structural. As stones settle over centuries, cavities form naturally. The void above the grand gallery could be the pyramid compensating for weight, stress relief. A way to distribute the crushing pressure of 2.3 million limestone blocks stacked 481 feet high. This theory makes sense. The void sits directly above the grand gallery, the pyramid's most critical passage, a space where structural stress would be highest. But if it's just structural, why hide it? Why not simply leave it empty and move on, unless it wasn't empty? The second theory, the void was built deliberately to house something. A chamber, a passage, a repository for sacred objects or texts. In ancient Egyptian belief, knowledge was power. Spiritual knowledge especially, the secret names of gods, the formulas for resurrection, the mathematical principles of creation. These weren't hidden in plain sight. They were locked away, sealed, protected. The pyramid's builders might have constructed the hidden chambers as archives, time capsules, repositories of knowledge meant to survive beyond the pharaoh's reign, beyond the dynasty, beyond civilization itself. This connects to a pattern we've seen before. Göbekli Tepe was buried deliberately to preserve knowledge. The Risha structure was sealed under sand by the Green Sahara's climate shift. Across human history, civilizations hide what matters most. The Great Pyramid's void could be the Egyptian version of that impulse. Preserve this, hide this, protect it for those who understand. But there's a third possibility, a darker one. What if the void isn't a chamber at all? What if it's a shaft? A tunnel running deep into the pyramid, or even deeper into the bedrock beneath. Recent Muon scans have detected anomalies below the pyramid, voids in the bedrock, cavities that shouldn't exist naturally. Were they carved deliberately by ancient engineers? And if so, what were they digging toward? The Nile is 500 meters away, but underground, water flows through caverns, ancient aquifers. The pyramid's builders had advanced hydraulic knowledge. They built systems to manage water, to channel it, to use it. What if the hidden chambers aren't just about storage? What if they're about power? Literal power.energy. The pyramid's mathematical proportions encode the golden ratio, prime numbers, and astronomical alignments. Some researchers believe these weren't decorative, but functional, that the pyramid itself was a machine, an energy structure. The hidden voids could be part of that machine. Chambers aligned to harness or direct electromagnetic energy, or to conduct acoustic resonance, or to amplify something we don't yet understand. This sounds like pseudoscience. But the pyramid's builders possessed knowledge that shouldn't have existed. Their astronomical alignments are too precise, their engineering too advanced, their mathematical understanding too sophisticated. They knew something, and they hid it inside the pyramid. The void above the Grand Gallery might be the key to understanding what that something was. but we can't open it without destroying it. So it waits, sealed, protected, frustratingly close but forever out of reach. Unless the pyramid's builders left another way in. The pyramid's builders understood something we're only beginning to grasp. Knowledge dies with people, languages fade, civilizations collapse, but stone endures. So they encoded what mattered most into architecture. The Great Pyramid isn't just a tomb. It's a library, a repository, an archive designed to survive the end of the world. Every measurement carries meaning. The height, 481 feet. That's not random. It encodes the distance from Earth to the Sun, scaled. The base dimensions encode P. The angles encode the golden ratio. The astronomical alignments point to specific stars, markers that would remain visible for thousands of years. The pyramid is a textbook written in stone, but textbooks are meant to be read. And the pyramid's builders knew they couldn't leave the secrets visible. Tomb robbers would steal them. Conquerors would erase them. Time would corrupt them. So they hid the most important knowledge. The hidden chambers aren't accidents or structural necessities. They're intentional vaults, sealed repositories, designed to survive. But here's what most people miss. The voids weren't empty, at least not originally. Inside the king's chamber, a granite sarcophagus sits empty. No mummy was ever found, no burial goods, no hieroglyphics marking who lay there. Archaeologists assumed it was robbed, emptied by grave thieves centuries ago, but what if there was never anything inside? What if the sarcophagus itself was a distraction? A decoy meant to keep tomb robbers focused on the known chambers while the real secrets lay hidden in the spaces between stones. The void above the Grand Gallery wasn't meant to hold a body. It was meant to hold knowledge. Records, scrolls, astronomical tables, mathematical formulae, sacred texts, information that would allow future civilizations to rebuild, to remember, to learn from what came before. This connects to a pattern across ancient civilizations. The Sumerians left star charts. The Babylonians left astronomical predictions. The Mayans left calendrical records so precise they tracked celestial events across millennia. Why were ancient priesthoods obsessed with the heavens? Because they knew the sky was dangerous. Because they'd seen catastrophe fall from above. Because they understood that the next civilization needed to know what killed the last one. Göbekli Tepe's pillars documented the Younger Dryas impact. The Great Pyramid encodes astronomical alignments and mathematical constants that allowed ancient Egypt to thrive. The Mayans tracked Venus so precisely they could predict its reappearance, a skill that would only matter if you were trying to prepare for cosmic cycles. Every ancient monument points to the same knowledge being passed forward. A warning, a map, a blueprint for survival. The Great Pyramid's hidden void contains evidence of that knowledge. Data. Records. Information from a civilization that understood more than we gave them credit for. And we're locked out. We can see the void. We know it's there. Cosmic rays have mapped its dimensions. But we can't enter without damaging one of human history's greatest monuments. So the archive remains sealed. The knowledge waits, protected, inaccessible. Deliberately hidden by people who understood that some truths are too important to lose. The question isn't what's inside the void. The question is, what were they so desperate to preserve that they hid it where no one could reach it? Unless they left another way in. The pyramid isn't sealed, not completely. For centuries, archaeologists assumed they'd mapped every passage, every shaft, every hidden corridor. They believed the pyramid had been fully explored. They were wrong. In 1993, a robot called Upuaut-2, named after an Egyptian god, crawled through the narrow shafts in the Queen's chamber. Its mission: to explore passages that were too small for humans. It climbed for hours. Deeper, higher through shafts sealed 4,500 years ago. And then it hit a door. A limestone block with copper handles. Perfectly preserved, unmarked. No hieroglyphics, no indication of what lay beyond. The robot filmed it. Scientists were stunned. A sealed door in the heart of the pyramid. Hidden for 4,500 years, they stopped the robot. They didn't drill through. They didn't open it. The door remains sealed, but it proves something crucial. The pyramid's builders left passages, hidden routes, ways to access the deep interior that weren't meant for casual visitors. Those passages are still there, still sealed, still waiting. Then came the 2023 discovery. The hidden corridor took feet long, running at an angle near the north face. Never documented, never mapped. Revealed only through Muon imaging. How many more passages exist? Muon scans are ongoing. New anomalies appear regularly. Density fluctuations dot air pockets. Voids that don't match any known architecture. The pyramid is riddled with hidden passages. And the pattern is telling. Many of these passages converge toward one direction. Downward. Deeper into the pyramid. Beneath the known chambers. Into bedrock. Recent Muon scans have detected voids in the bedrock below the pyramid. Cavities that shouldn't exist naturally. Were they carved by ancient engineers? And if so, why? One theory: water. The pyramid's builders possessed advanced hydraulic knowledge. They built systems to manage the Nile's flooding, to channel water, to use it. What if the hidden passages lead to underground reservoirs, aquifers, water systems that powered something? Another theory: energy. The pyramid itself might have been a machine, an energy amplifier or conductor. The hidden chambers could be part of that system, aligned to harness electromagnetic forces or acoustic resonance. Fringe, perhaps, but the pyramid's proportions are too precise to be accidental. Its alignments are too accurate, its mathematical constants too sophisticated. The builders were encoding something functional, not just symbolic. And the hidden passages are the key to understanding how it worked. But here's the critical part. Someone doesn't want us to find out. Access to the pyramid is restricted. Deep exploration is forbidden. Drilling is prohibited. The Egyptian government has made it clear. The pyramid will not be damaged. The voids will not be opened. Why? Official answer: preservation. The pyramid is a World Heritage Site. Damaging it is unthinkable. But there's another possibility. What if authorities know something about what's hidden inside? What if previous expeditions found something that changed the narrative? Something that challenged the official story of Egyptian civilization? Archaeological discoveries are suppressed all the time. Artifacts are locked away. Findings are delayed or buried. If the pyramid contained evidence of advanced knowledge that shouldn't exist, what would happen? The entire timeline of human civilization would collapse. Ancient Egypt is supposed to have developed gradually. Learning over time. Trial and error. Slow progress. But the pyramid suggests something else. Advanced mathematics. Astronomical precision. Engineering knowledge that rivals modern science. Where did it come from? The hidden passages might hold the answer. And that answer might be so unsettling that it's worth keeping the pyramid sealed. But seals break, technologies advance. Muon imaging gets better. Ground-penetrating radar improves, thermal scanning refines. Eventually, we'll see inside the void. Eventually, the hidden passages will be mapped. Eventually, the secret will be revealed. And when it is, the question won't just be, what's inside? The question will be, why did they go to such lengths to hide it? Every time we get close to the truth, the story stops. In 2017, the Big Void was announced, a space the size of a commercial jet, hidden inside the pyramid for 4,500 years. Headlines exploded globally. Then, nothing. No excavation. No robots sent to investigate. No drilling to peek inside. Just, we'll study it further. And the void disappeared from the news cycle. In 1993, the UPOA-2 robot reached the end of a narrow shaft in the Queen's chamber, 60 meters deep, and there was a door, a limestone block with copper handles, perfectly sealed, never opened. Again, global headlines, again, investigation stopped cold. Decades later, we still don't know what's behind it. The official explanation: ventilation shaft, symbolic feature, too risky to continue. The same pattern repeats with new Muon scans. More anomalies, more voids discovered. More density variations discussed in cautious academic language. But no one is allowed to open anything. Why? The official answer: preservation. The Great Pyramid is sacred, untouchable. One wrong drill destroys irreplaceable history, but that doesn't hold up. We've excavated tombs, cut through walls, blasted into sealed chambers across Egypt. We drill cores from priceless artifacts all the time in the name of research. So why does the courage disappear when we approach the big void? There are three possibilities. First, there's nothing inside, just structural voids. Chambers designed to relieve weight as stones shift. Opening them proves the big void isn't the revolutionary discovery it seemed. So it's easier to leave it mysterious, to let people speculate, to avoid the embarrassment of nothing. Second, there is something inside, but not treasure, not gold. Information, inscriptions, mathematical formulas, star charts, evidence of knowledge the pyramid's builders shouldn't have possessed. Because if ancient Egypt had this knowledge, where did it come from? How did they calculate celestial mechanics thousands of years before telescopes? How did they encode prime numbers and pi into stone? How did they align chambers to constellations visible only at specific dates? That discovery doesn't just rewrite history, it shatters it. Third, fear. Pure institutional fear. Because the moment we open the void, mystery dies. Speculation ends. The Great Pyramid becomes a solved problem. The questions disappear. And there are people, governments, institutions, academic establishments invested in keeping the questions alive. Keeping the pyramid mysterious. A mystery attracts tourism. Funds research, justifies expeditions. Keeps millions of eyes on the site. But answers close the investigation. Answers end the story. And some stories are more valuable unsolved than solved. So the doors stay sealed. The voids stay hidden. The void remains classified in all but name. But here's what matters. The pyramid's builders didn't hide something by accident. They sealed chambers deliberately. They left doors locked. They designed the architecture to keep secrets. That tells us one thing. They knew that one day someone would find those chambers. Someone would have the technology to see inside. They were building for us. They were leaving a message. And it's still sealed away, waiting for someone brave enough to open it. The Great Pyramid isn't a tomb. A tomb holds a dead body. It's a burial chamber, a place of endings. The Great Pyramid was designed to last forever. 4,500 years later, it's still standing, still perfect, still sending a message. And the message is encoded in mathematics. The pyramid's proportions aren't decorative. They're functional, intentional, every measurement a word in a language that transcends time. The height, 481 feet, that's not random. Scaled down, it represents the Earth's distance from the Sun. The pyramid is a miniature model of our planet's position in the cosmos. The base, 756 feet on each side. Divided by the height, you get a ratio that approximates pi to 6 decimal places. In a structure built 4,500 years ago, before pi was officially discovered. The angle of the sides, 51.5 degrees. That matches the latitude where the pyramid is built. The structure itself is a map, a geographic anchor. The interior passages align to specific stars. The king's chamber faces Orion. The queen's chamber aligns to Sirius. Every passage, every angle, every chamber, astronomical markers. This isn't superstition, this is science. Ancient, precise, undeniable science. The pyramid's builders were telling us, we understand the cosmos. We can measure it, we can encode it in stone, and we're leaving this information for those who come after. The Great Pyramid isn't a tomb. A tomb holds a dead body. It's a burial chamber, a place of endings. The Great Pyramid was designed to last forever. 4,500 years later, it's still standing, still perfect, still sending a message. And the message is encoded in mathematics. The pyramid's proportions aren't decorative. They're functional, intentional. Every measurement a word in a language that transcends time. The height, 481 feet. That's not random. Scaled down, it represents the Earth's distance from the Sun. The pyramid is a miniature model of our planet's position in the cosmos. The base, 756 feet on each side. Divided by the height, you get a ratio that approximates pi to 6 decimal places, in a structure built 4,500 years ago, before pi was officially discovered. The angle of the sides, 51.5 degrees. That matches the latitude where the pyramid is built. The structure itself is a map, a geographic anchor. The interior passages align to specific stars. The king's chamber faces Orion. The queen's chamber aligns to Sirius. Every passage, every angle, every chamber, astronomical markers. This isn't superstition, this is science. Ancient, precise, undeniable science. The pyramid's builders were telling us, we understand the cosmos. We can measure it, we can encode it in stone. And we're leaving this information for those who come after. But why hide the knowledge in voids and sealed chambers? Because knowledge without proof is just theory. But proof, physical evidence, is undeniable. The hidden chambers contain that proof. Data star charts, calculations, the mathematical and astronomical knowledge that allowed Egyptian civilization to thrive for 3,000 years. That knowledge was so important that the builders designed an entire structure to protect and preserve it. They didn't just write it on papyrus. Paper rots, fire burns. Wars destroy records, but stone endures. So they carved knowledge into the pyramid's geometry. They hid it in sealed chambers. They designed passages that would only be discoverable once future civilizations developed the technology to see inside. Muon imaging. They left us a message that could only be read once we had the cosmic ray technology to peer through stone. Think about that. The pyramid's builders designed the architecture knowing that one day, particles from space would reveal what they hid. They were communicating across 4,500 years, directly to us, saying, this knowledge matters. Protect it. Learn from it. Understand that civilizations rise and fall. That knowledge can be preserved. That the cosmos has patterns. That catastrophe can strike from the sky. The Great Pyramid is a warning, just like Göbekli Tepe, just like every ancient monument obsessed with the heavens. Civilizations that achieve astronomical knowledge understand something crucial. The sky is unpredictable, dangerous, cyclical. Impacts happen, civilizations collapse. But knowledge survives if you encode it in stone. The pyramid's hidden voids aren't just chambers. They're a message in a bottle, sealed and preserved for whoever had the technology and courage to find it. We have the technology now, we can see inside. But we lack the courage, so the void remains sealed, and the message waits. Because until we're willing to open that door, to face whatever truth lies behind it, the pyramid's message remains incomplete. The builders left us the key. We just have to be brave enough to use it. The pyramid has been standing for 4,500 years. Why are we discovering its secrets now? Why Muon imaging? Why 2017? Why not 1917 or 1517? Or any of the centuries when archaeologists had access but lacked the technology? The answer: the pyramid's builders timed it. They designed the structure to remain sealed until humanity developed the specific technology needed to see inside without destroying it. Muon imaging got non-invasive, cosmic ray technology, something that required space science and particle physics. Essentially, rocket science. The pyramid is a lock, and we've only now invented the key. This connects to the pattern we see across all ancient monuments. Göbekli Tepe, the Richat structure, the pyramids, the Mayan temples, the Sumerian ziggurats, all built with astronomical precision, all encoding mathematical knowledge, all sealed deliberately. They're all waiting for us, all transmitting the same message. When you develop the technology to understand us, you'll be ready for what we've left behind. We're at that moment now. We can see inside the pyramid. We can map the void. We can even send robots through narrow shafts to investigate doors 60 meters deep. But we're hesitating. Why? Because opening the void means accepting that ancient civilizations possessed knowledge we didn't credit them with. It means rewriting history. It means acknowledging that somewhere between the Younger Dryas catastrophe and now, humanity achieved something profound, then lost it. The pattern is clear across history. Civilizations rise, achieve high knowledge, create monuments, then collapse. Sometimes catastrophically, sometimes slowly. And each time, the survivors try to pass forward what they learned, encoded in stone, hidden in architecture, preserved in mathematics. The Great Pyramid is that attempt, desperate and brilliant. The builders knew their civilization might not last, so they built a 2.3 million ton message, a monument designed to survive everything: earthquakes, wars, the rise and fall of empires. And it did. And now we're here, with the technology to read it. The question is, are we ready for what it says? Because the moment we open the void and see what's inside, history becomes negotiable. The solid narrative we've been taught, a neat linear progression from primitives to moderns, shatters. We might find astronomical charts, mathematical equations, star catalogs, evidence of knowledge that shouldn't exist. Or we might find nothing. Empty chambers, structural voids. Both outcomes terrify institutional archaeology. Both require defending or abandoning established theories. So the safest move: keep the void sealed. Keep the mystery alive. Maintain the status quo. But that's cowardice wrapped in preservation. Because the pyramid's builders didn't invest 4,500 years of durability to teach us nothing. They were communicating, and we have a moral obligation to listen. The message is simple: knowledge matters. Preserve it, pass it forward. Understand that the universe operates on patterns, that catastrophe cycles, that civilizations rise and fall, that what you build might last longer than you do, so build wisely. The Great Pyramid is telling us we're living in a critical moment. We have technology our ancestors dreamed of. We have global communication. We have the ability to document everything and share it instantly. But we're not using it to preserve knowledge. We're using it to distract ourselves. The pyramid's builders would see that as tragic. They built for immortality. We're building for the next quarter's profit. Göbekli Tepe's pillars warned us about cosmic catastrophe. The Richat structure documented a lost civilization. The Great Pyramid is encoded with the mathematics and astronomy needed to rebuild if we collapse. And we're ignoring all of it. The void remains sealed. The door stays locked. The message goes unread. But it's still there, waiting. And one day, maybe tomorrow, maybe in 100 years, someone will be brave enough to open it. And when they do, everything changes. Until then, the pyramid stands. A monument to what humanity is capable of, and a warning about what we'll lose if we're not careful. The message has been sent. Now it's waiting for us to be brave enough to receive it.